Welcome everyone, I'm Aubrey, and this is Clay Class, Tutorials by the 7th Street Studio. So today we're going to learn how to center and cone on the wheel. Centering the clay on the wheel head is one of the most important steps in learning to throw on the wheel. If you can't center the clay, then you'll never be able to make anything. So take your time, practice, and allow yourself to enjoy the centering process. So centering and coning, what you'll need is 1 to 2 pounds of clay, a sponge, smoothing tool, and a bucket of water. So place your clay in the center ring of the wheel. Cup your hands and lightly press down to make a mound. Slowly spin the wheel head and pat the clay into the center. So here you see my sponge and my smoothing tool. I dampen my sponge and I just lightly clean off the wheel head I was throwing earlier in this video. So here I'm sponging the clay off, and my sponge is damp, not super wet. We're just cleaning off the wheel head, getting it slightly moist. Now here's my wedged clay. I've already wedged this, and now I'm placing it in the center of the wheel and pressing down. Some people throw it in, but that usually I just always miss. So I'm just patting it with my hands, making it a mound in the center, and that will make centering once the wheel head is spinning a lot easier. See, I've just gotten it to that edge of that ring and it's all ready to go. Now getting into position is really important because the clay will be moving and you have to make sure you aren't. So wet the clay and your hands. Place your left elbow into your hip and brace. Lock your thumbs together and make sure that you are not moving, but the clay is. This helps center it. So here you see I have my sponge. I use way too much water. You do not need this much water. I was just excited to show you guys how to center. And then I'm using the palm of my hand and pressing at the base of my mound, and then the side of my hand to press on the top of the mound, while my elbow stays locked into my hip and I'm not moving. Now next we're going to cone the clay. Coning is a more advanced step of centering. However, we're basically collaring at the base of the clay and squeezing upward to make the clay into a taller mound. This is really helpful for getting air bubbles out or if you don't quite understand wedging yet. So here I'm pressing in at the base of my clay, keeping it at that center circle. And I'm using my hands to create a subtle volcano shape. Here I'm using more water, re-wetting my hands as necessary, squeezing with my palms at the base of the clay and moving upward. So now we're getting a cone. That's where the term coning comes from. So here I am pushing in at the very bottom of the clay with my finger and just squeezing up. Now I'm kind of closing my thumbs at the top to make sure I don't get a little top that pinches off. So I have a small cone and then I kind of press back down, and then we're going to re-center the clay now that we've coned up. Now re-centering the clay, we're going to place our elbow, lock our thumbs, and press our palms downwards and inwards to the center of the wheel head and hold until it stops wiggling. So here I'm re-wetting my hands. I'm using that inner part of my palm and the top of my hand to press it into a mound, keeping the base clean using my thumb, re-wetting and holding. Cleaning my hands off and pressing to the center and holding. You see how it stops moving. Remember to keep your elbow and using that force at the base of your hand to center rather than just using your hands alone. So here are some things to remember. Centering is the foundation on which all things are thrown. This can be really hard, and that's okay. Your body will learn to use the centripetal force with practice. Remember to brace your left arm in your hip when you're centering the clay. Remember to hook your thumbs together so your hands work as one thing on the clay rather than two independent things. Ensure that your wheel is spinning at the right speed. Your instructor will help you find that for you. And keep your hands and clay moist, but not overly wet. Thanks for watching today. This was Clay Class, a tutorial by the 7th Street Studio. If you'd like to see more, visit our website, email us, or follow us on Instagram.